I'll just hit record for this because in case anyone doesn't make it to the stream. What I was gonna do is the main themes of what we'll be seeing through Gemini season, who we are becoming because of it, what are we learning because of it, what to be careful of during it, and what to celebrate throughout it, and advice to remember. Which will be good. And I'll probably maybe make like a brief text summary of this somewhere, and I'll post it to the $5 pledges probably, because it's someone to be reading. Okay, what cards do I want to use? Let me just clear the energy a little bit. Okay. Let's see. I'm just picking decks to use. Okay. All right, we're going to start out with the main themes of what we're going to be seeing. And I'll pull like a few cards for this, so let's see. Ancestors, and angels and guides. Can you please give me the collective messages? Okay, there's like some cards coming out already. Can you please give me that collective reading for what we can expect? What will we be seeing throughout Gemini season? All right. All right, yeah, this is really interesting because cooperation keeps coming out for me, and this is about working with other people. This is connecting with others. Your goal can benefit from surrounding yourself with like-minded people, connecting in with others, making friends, finding common goals with people. Cooperation. Now, cooperation isn't just. It's you making the effort and then somebody else putting in 50% to you. You put in 50, they put in 50. And you cooperate with each other. So what you'll be seeing a lot is where people are cooperating with you and where they're not cooperating with you too. Yeah, also like where your energy meshes well with someone. I think... again, with this new soul contract coming in, we're going to be seeing who we vibe with now and who we don't vibe with anymore. So the three cards that jumped out right away was originality, introspection, and enchantment. And this makes me feel like places where we used to be delusional or where we might have tripped up in certain friendships, with understanding now like where other people have kind of like enchanted us into being in a relationship with them that isn't good. And we are using the tool of introspection to really find out what it is that we want. Originality makes me think of you being an individual with your own original desires and wants and needs. Like, what's you and what is original to you? And originality, it's like it doesn't come from the outside. It's purely coming from the inside and comes outwards. So it feels like in order to move away from these relationships that might be kind of like lulling us into thinking they're good, or enchantment is a really like, the vibe I'm getting is like manipulation, romanticization. I don't get a good vibe from this aspect of whoever I'm hitting here. It feels like where people have pulled you in to relationships that aren't very good, and not only are trying to fool you, but they're also fooling themselves. But through introspection, you're going to find out what, you know, your originality, and respecting your originality too. Because I think sometimes a message that comes through is sometimes you think that like you're not good enough, so you'll just stay comfortable with who will take you, and respect your originality and your essence. And it almost feels like you're nourishing and feeding that quirkiness and uniqueness, and actually vibing with who you are as an individual when no one else is around, but then bringing that into situations where other people are. You have, again, introspection. It says introspection is often necessary to deepen our awareness of the unity and divinity of life. And I think through introspection, I feel like this is to understand our own originality, so that we don't kid ourselves into being around relationships that we don't want anymore. We have contest or contest. Now this is like kind of coming out in two ways. Some people might try to contest, which is to challenge your realizations. And this, they might try and enchant you back into not letting them go. But sometimes you're going to have to like contest your ground. We have precision and letting go. I feel like there's this thing, what's the saying? It's like a surgeon's knife needs to have a clean, clear cut. And precision helps us to let go of the right people. Because if you cut the wrong you're afraid that if you cut the wrong thing, there's going to be blood everywhere. Things might be a mess. But I actually feel like there is this certainty and there is this process through introspection of your originality, reflecting on who is trying to lull you into their bullshit or lull you into their like fantasy, or are you lulling yourself? Where are you kidding yourself, you know? Where are you in this weird entitlement thing and, you know, not putting in any effort to have friendships? There is a confrontation about that. So you can precisely identify what needs to be let go of. They also has here too the scalpel of life. Yes. There's also a thing here too, because then you have contest, which is like about comparing and competing. I think that if somebody's making you feel that that you're being compared and judged and that you have to compete against other people to have their love or have their attention, they are not right for you. Especially, I don't know who this is speaking to specifically in this more, I'm going to go a little bit more specific. There's someone who is healing from insecurity, and and like their self-esteem. If you feel like you have to compete for someone's energy and attention, let it go. The moment you feel like you have to compete, there's another thing here too though, actually, of is the feeling of you having to compete a self-delusion of you being entitled to other people's energy and time without building the necessary relationship to be deserving of their energy and time? Here is some water for that hard to swallow pill. Some of you might need to recognize that sometimes you are going to have to put in the work in certain relationships to deserve more time and attention. There's a quality of the energy though. If someone's it's if when they do speak to you, they speak with you with respect, that is the difference. That's really interesting. The base card is accomplishment, and it says remember your past accomplishments as a way to overcome present self-doubt. I definitely feel like you do need to recognize where you have improved in life and how things are different now, so that you don't fall back into going into shit relationships again. Okay. So who are we becoming? So that was the main themes that we'll be seeing. How do I want to go about who are we becoming? Okay, I kind of want to go back to this deck and maybe pull one from here. So who are we becoming throughout this process? Okay, these cards are terrible to shuffle like that. Who are we becoming through this process? Who are we becoming through this process? We're learning how to I know these are the same cards, but it's learning to cooperate from an authentic place. Learning how to relate with other people from who you actually are. Which is really good. This is good. This is good. We're learning how to actually relate with people from a place of who we actually are and our actual values and our actual authenticity. So it says here with originality too, that I feel drawn to read now, is feel lighthearted and free while trusting that your unique way of doing things is the right way. Feel lighthearted and free while trusting that your unique way of doing things is the right way. We're learning to cooperate with other people from our own unique way of doing things. You don't always have to like meet new people from Tinder. You can meet them from like a random Facebook group. Who's following me? It's the same cards, but in a different sense. Who are we becoming? Who are we becoming? Who will we becoming from this? I feel like someone who appreciates time and takes the time to get to know people, takes the time to really enjoy the moment and enjoy the process. We have sacred space as well. So I think this is like treating the spaces that you're in, like friendship groups, relationships, the home. I feel like almost like it feels like taking, really appreciating your environment. Whether that's your room, home, friendships, family. I actually feel like this is doing things with groups as well. So you might actually be somebody, because of all of this, you might start, again, like connecting in with things like women's circles. Again, with that cooperation, it feels kind of like collaboration through something that is something that is sacred. We have manifestation. So this situation that's going through with Gemini, it's helping us to be able to focus upon what it is that we actually desire. Because sometimes I feel like we sometimes have compromised what it is that we actually desire in order to conform. Any final messages of who we are becoming, or do you want me to change deck? I feel like we should change deck. Let's get another perspective of who are we becoming because of what is happening. Who are we becoming? That's too many. Who are we becoming? I think I'm getting another thing as well about like trusting your that trusting your unique way of doing things is very important. Even just then I had a moment of it when it comes to shuffling cards. I was just about to be like, oh shit, this should be done by now. And I just did something. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do what's unique to me and just do it. And then we get a jumping card. That just manifested right there. It's not about just being unique in how you speak with people. It's in what you do and trusting your unique way of doing things, whether that's creating music, whether that's masturbating, whether that's like as a joke, as like something like minor, like these minor things that you do in your day-to-day life, like how you brush your teeth, your morning routine. This is like how you need to trust the way that you do life is good for you, and check in with yourself that it's what is it's unique to you and good for you. Can I get a last card, please, on who are we becoming? All right. I love this. We're all coming together. The Great Gathering. The Great Gathering. So this is another community card. Again, this energy of like new soul contracts is coming through is so potent. And it says it's all coming together, intuitive hits and soul tribe. So yeah, we're definitely feeling like more soul tribe. And I think that's another reason, me personally, on my journey, I've been really drawn to start doing these collective messages, because that's my unique thing. But I also feel like I'm calling in my soul tribe who will resonate with what I'm saying. Just as a manifestation of these messages too. So, who are we becoming? We have the inner temple. And this is about learning how to be devoted to ourselves. Devoting to yourself and your own growth. This is things like, I'm having deja vu. This is things like self-reflecting, and eating well, and eating nurturing foods, and meditating upon arguments and issues and conflicts, and journaling and checking in and making sure, what are my needs right now? How can I love myself deeper in this moment? This is devotion. The energy of devotion. We have the crumbling. What are you clinging on to? I definitely see like a new gateway opening up. I think we're becoming people who can identify what we are clinging to, and I feel like it's like safely letting them go. Not dramatically, not cathartically, but like swift. It feels like a sickle, you know, it's like a curved piece, but it's sharp. Not repeatedly axing and chopping away at something, but it's like a smooth, like, phew. And it doesn't mean you have to get nasty, and it doesn't mean you have to get cold. But there's just this like smoothness to it, because you know what's beyond that. The last card is dancing with life. Do something to change your energy. But I feel like we're becoming people who, firstly, we can dance with life. We're learning how to dance to the own beat of our drum, because we know who we are. We trust our unique way of doing things. We can dance with life. And also, if the energy isn't right within ourselves or within a group, we become an agent of change. You know, we can take accountability to change what's in front of us. So we'll go, what are we learning? What are we learning because of these changes? So let's go with this. So we know who we're becoming. We know the main themes of what we're seeing, but what are we learning? What are to condense it down into core messages to reflect on? What are we really learning right now? What are we really learning right now? So the groundhog spirit has come out, and this is learning how to let go. Oh my god, no way. All right, this card, I have made a post about this for the full moon. I wrote it last night, and it was about the owl. It was inspired by the owl spirit, so that's crazy. We have a full moon in Sagittarius coming up, which is actually the opposite of Gemini. So there's definitely some big things happening, which is exciting. So, can we get a last message of what we are learning? Thank you. We have 2. Ah, this is so cool. What's the base card? We're learning that magic works through us. Magic works through you. If you're not being your fucking self, magic ain't gonna work through you. You're a fucking gift to this world. Like, let God work through you, and he works through you by you just being your fucking self. Your weirdest, loveliest, whateverest self. And letting yourself, like, bloom and blossom with that magic. Yeah, we're learning how to let go, and that sometimes it's time to let go. So it definitely is time to let go of certain relationships now, and you know, have those come full circle. It does feel like, because it's 31, 3 is communication and 1 is a new beginning. So I feel like some of this is like communication to end old things, to then start something new, not with the same person, but it does feel like closure is happening, and really learning how to let go. This might not be of people. This also might be of old parts of you and old ways of how you used to think that you needed to exist. This isn't just about other people. This is also about parts of you. Letting go of how you think you should be, what you thought was your reality and how you should live. For example, maybe you believe that like you're never gonna get married again. There's some things that like you just need to let go of, like beliefs about you, believing that like people don't like you. It's really time to just let that fucking go, because it's not helping you anymore. You know, it served its purpose. Maybe it was there to protect you. Maybe it was there to, usually I think it's mostly there to protect you. But you know, that's it. A lot of things are done with now. So this isn't just about letting go of people, but letting go of parts of ourselves that just don't serve anymore. You have the owl spirit, so this is seeing clearly. We're learning, I feel like, a protocol and techniques of what we do to generate clear insight so that we can course correct as we go through life. It's like learning, I feel like we're developing like a technique and a protocol to follow so that we keep being in alignment with ourselves and keep being able to actually see the truth for what it is. We have the nightingale, which is love is all around. So I feel like we are learning to speak our feelings. That's one thing I get from this. I feel like loving yourself for where you're at. And genuinely actually just fucking opening your heart and appreciating people. Not being afraid to let people know how you feel about them. And not like holding on to things like, oh, like it's time to let go of a persona that's like, oh, I don't share my feelings. It's like, fuck off, man. Like, that's done with now. Like, you know, it's okay to have bromance. It's okay to let, you know, the inspiring females that you really enjoy, like, it's okay to let people know your feelings, and it's okay for you to acknowledge your feelings as well. It definitely feels like there's a lot of like love and appreciation, and we're learning how to love and appreciate, I feel like, who we actually are as well, especially with that authenticity and originality. We're really learning to appreciate others' individuality and authenticity and originality and our own. The last card of our lessons is Whale Spirit. Trust the great mystery. So this is a vibe of trusting the unknown, realizing that dropping what you think you figured out, which includes this, I feel like, this letting go thing. There's a lot of like conclusions that we made about who we must be and who we should be and who we are, that like, nah, like, it's done, and we need to trust God, trust spirit, trust ourselves, and trust the mystery. Whatever you think you have figured out and come to conclusions about, let it go and let things be a mystery. Trust now that moment to moment you can step into the unknown and survive. This includes conversations with strangers. This includes rejection. Each time you can trust yourself moment to moment to take a step and survive each one of them. Past parts of you might have been hurt, destroyed, abandoned, betrayed, and didn't survive those things. It had to shut down. You're learning ways to not shut down throughout embracing the magic and the mystery of life. Take care, Kevin. This will be recorded, so if you want to go back to it, you can listen to it. So we're going to go into what to be careful of during this month. Where do I want to go with that? Okay. What to be careful of during this month or throughout Gemini season? And I guess with it being careful, we'll go with what do we need to surrender? So one of them is low self-esteem. We need to be aware and careful of how our low self-esteem activates our ego and our mind to spin narratives that protect ourselves from feeling bad. The base card is surrender outdated beliefs about yourself. So that kind of goes into that letting go energy. You need to be careful of these outdated beliefs that you have about yourself. They're outdated. They don't work anymore. You deserve success, love, and abundance. Set an intention to identify and release any remnants of low self-esteem. We do need to be careful of where our low self-esteem is making decisions for us, especially when it comes to what we're doing. I feel like this is bigger than just relationships. This is also the ambitions that you have in life and what you can do in life, especially even with your hobbies. Someone listening to this right now it wants to do this. They want to do card readings. They want to share themselves with the world, but their low self-esteem is getting in the way. It's okay you build confidence in your own confidence. I definitely feel like there are people as well with the sacred space card earlier. They want to be connecting more with spiritual people. Be careful of where your low self-esteem is driving the steering wheel or taking over the steering wheel. We have surrender to effortlessness. This kind of comes in two flavors. We have be careful of thinking that all of this change is going to be effortless. We are going to have to regularly introspect and reflect and self-reflect on the changes that we need to make and checking in with ourselves. But also too, I feel like there are certain situations where we think things are going to be too difficult, so then we don't do them. It's something like the things that you think are going to be really hard are actually going to be quite easy. The things that you think are going to be easy might need to just have a bit more attention and energy put into them. Stop pushing so hard. The art of living means going with the flow instead of trying to force the river. This is really interesting. I actually read something the other day about how sometimes people's attitude of going with the flow stops them from taking accountability of change in their life and enacting meaningful change in their life. Please self-reflect if you are one of those people. And it's okay. Like you are safe now to make precise, meaningful decisions and changes and be a leader in your own life. The other card we have is, because this is being careful, and this is saying surrender, wonder, and awe. So I feel like this is like surrendering pessimism, being careful of this belief that like things can't change, that miracles don't happen, that there's no such thing as magic. I pulled a card the other day and it was like, people say that magic happens when you least expect it. But no, magic happens when you most expect it. When you lean in to that wonder and awe and that like, I believe in synchronicity and divine timing and magic. And the more that you actually expect magic and miracles to be there, they will be. There's another essence of this too, of surrendering, I think, romanticism. And like, for example, when you meet people, being feels like overly indulgent and pedestaling before you get to have a clear picture of them. This kind of comes with like, you know, like, oh, this person's too good to be true. It's okay to pause and take time and allow the proper time for somebody's personality to unfold before you pour yourself and commit too much into them. Again, the previous card that came out earlier of enchantment is coming through here too. Be careful of these like built up inner beliefs that we have about the future, because it is this healthy balance of like expecting a miracle and believing in a miracle and being like excited about the mystery, but also simultaneously dropping and letting go of expectation and unhealthy patterns of pedestaling, romanticizing people that you've not given proper time to get to know. It's all in that balance. It's all in the balance. So what should we celebrate during this time? What should we be celebrating? So this is kind of like a focus to remember. I'm trying to like put my cards away. Okay, they're falling. I will leave that for now. So what should we be celebrating? What should we focus on celebrating? I want to pull something from this. What should we focus on celebrating? Yeah. As you said that, the comparison card came out. And it feels like celebrating who you actually are compared to other people. This is not a negative comparison. I think actually sometimes you might need to positively compare yourself to other people. Not in a putting other people down, but you need to actually appreciate who you are in comparison to other people. This is also rebirth too. This is celebrate these times, these small steps that you make to be courageous and to overcome a fear. You might just make a small step to do something different, to do something that makes you feel a bit insecure or something that you're unsure of. Celebrate the times that you actually take a step to do something a little bit different. Yeah, celebrating how far you've come in yourself. Exactly. And celebrate the moment and how far you've come. Look at the path. He's like jumping on a path, step by step, moment to moment. The guy on the card, he celebrates the moment and where he's come moment to moment. Oh, that's beautiful. I do feel like this is celebrating how much deep changes and how much destruction and letting go of things you have survived. This is this card reminds me of like when your reality just feels like, and your life feels like it's falling apart, and everything you thought you knew of yourself, your friendships, job, people has fallen apart, and it's fucked you up. And it's completely taken you off guard. It's made you doubt yourself. It's made you have to restart from scratch, or maybe rebuild. Please celebrate the fact that you've made it through these kind of moments. You have the Master. I feel like celebrate, yeah, again, this is like how far you've come, what you have mastered. Celebrate what you have mastered, such as, yeah, rebuilding foundations. I do feel like this is like celebrating the inner child. Oh, this is so cute. And celebrate an adventure, celebrating this new adventure that you're on. I feel like this is honestly, it's like all of this like kind of heaviness and like all this work. It's like focusing on how much better life is gonna be and celebrating how much better life is getting and how much better we have made our own life because of all of this previous stuff. I wish I would have been doing collective readings for longer, because we've got to remember that evolution builds on the past. So we're always constantly evolving the past. We're bringing the past, pulling it in and evolving it and transforming it into a better future and laying a better path for ourselves for the future. And even this will transform and change into something beautiful, to a more better path as well. Celebrate your ability to create. Celebrate the creator, God. Celebrate the fact that you're fucking alive. I do feel like a lot of just celebration energy of like the fact that you can create your own life, the fact that you can create this path, the fact that you can recreate yourself into who you want to be because you're surrendering outdated beliefs about yourself. All right, who do you want to be now? What kind of person do you want to be? Do you want to be like a fun, quirky school teacher? Do you want to be the passionate spiritual teacher? You know, who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Who do you want to recreate yourself as? How much do you want to love yourself? What pick how much, you know, which is a weird phrase, but that's what it feels like. It's like celebrate the fact that you literally can recreate yourself like this. And you don't need to be afraid anymore, because there are so many people doing this too. And as you do it, you align with the others that are doing it, and you keep empowering each other, and it goes around and around, and you collaborate, and you meet in these like-minded people that are on the same fucking level as you. Ooh. All right. Advice to remember. Can we get some advice to remember? All right. Hey, sweet. We're recording this, so if anyone is coming in late, y'all can catch up with it. So, what advice do we need to actively remember throughout this process? What advice do we need to remember? What advice do you have for us? What advice do you have for us? I feel like let's go with more of like when we're maybe struggling, or like we need like a mantra to remember, advice to remember throughout the month. Ooh, innovation. Have fun, experiment inventing something. Experiment inventing something that surprises and has never existed before. Don't be afraid to experiment with different kinds of ways of existing. You will find that you might stumble across a happy accident. You might it's really interesting too, because my partner has been talking to me a lot recently about emulating. He's currently on the toilet. I can like see him right there. About if you see something that you like in somebody, don't be afraid to emulate it and try it on and like see how it works for you and find your unique individual way of taking on those things. Don't be afraid to experiment. Experiment with things and create newness. Do it your way. It says happy accidents, so even if you fuck up, please remember that like most of the time like it's divinely orchestrated anyway. Fortunate accidents can act as guides to edit and be open to where you should go next. Okay, so even if you fuck up, it's gonna show you it's gonna show you what needs to be edited and changed. Yo, the cycles card came out of the underneath, and it reminds me of just like this communication and collaboration. But communication came out too. The clarity, interactivity, and timing of communication is critical. So remember as well, previously throughout the reading, we were talking about how certain confrontations might need to happen about your boundaries, and where you feel pressured to conform and somebody is applying pressure to you through subtle judgment even, that you need to conform to certain things. There will be an opportunity to communicate, but the timing of communication is critical. And clarity will come at critical moments too. Having clarity is critical before you communicate. And the timing of your communication is critical too. So whilst you can have fun and experiment, and even from your mistakes, you can edit and learn to edit and where to go from them, try your best to stay accountable in your self-reflections in order to gain clarity, so that you can communicate at the right time. Communicating at the right time can include things like making sure that you have the energy, the space, the clarity, the time to help somebody process information that you are delivering to them. You don't just want to give them the box and have them pick through things themselves, because sometimes they'll be looking at it through their own lens of self-esteem issues that we talked about earlier. So you want to kind of be there, especially if you want to maintain a certain relationship with this person. You want to make sure you can hold the space so you can help them sort through that box of information that you're needing to give them, because you need to do that for yourself. But yeah, that's why timing of communication is critical, because they'll be sifting through information through their lens and of possible like self-esteem issues, outdated beliefs about themselves on the other end of things. Because you got to remember too, this is like two-way streets. So again, kind of touching on to the reading that we did earlier, we might feel pressured to conform to somebody else's standard or needs or expectations, and we might need to say, look, I can't do that. They might have an outdated belief that if someone doesn't meet their needs, they need to cut them out. They'll need to let those kind of things go, and you'll need to be there to help them sort through that box, so they don't look at the lens of like through negative self-esteem and defense mechanisms and following their outdated beliefs too. And as well, if you think they'd benefit from these kind of messages, because I feel like everyone could do with this stuff, so we could all be aware. Because the thing is, when you're not aware, we play out all of this shit in a really unconscious, usually toxic kind of way. But with awareness, you know, we can use it to evolve and do it in a much more mindful way that causes less destruction.
And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below what resonated with you the most. If you'd like to see more of my content and support it financially, you can check it out on Patreon at $5. I write intuitive messages for my Patreon community, and then also at $9 you get access to those messages and any video content I do, cosplay content I do, and also a monthly meditation class that we host as well in my Discord server. But take care everyone, I hope you're well, and goodbye. Goodbye.